guys, it's been a couple of weeks since I filmed a video, but I wanted to come back on because I have done a little bit more stitching and more stitching stuff in my life has happened, and so I thought I should probably make a video and kind of get caught up ahead of the holidays. And I am actually filming in the evening. It's Friday the 13th, and so I'm gonna make that my good luck and not my bad luck. And hopefully this will be a good video. So I always start with WIPs, and I did work a little bit on Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, which I'll show it to you. So it's by Amy Stewart. It's a Heaven and Earth design, and this is what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like now. So I have been loving Pattern Keeper. It's amazing. I just kind of worked on clearing the parked threads from the piece, and I'm kind of stitching on different pages, and I'm just working more with like natural sections as opposed to individual pages. And that's really working for me, and Pattern Keeper makes it a lot easier and a lot faster. I would say the three most helpful features are: one, if I select a stitch in the search mode, it highlights all of those symbols so I don't have to scan and miss them and come back and do them later. Two, it tells me what that DMC color is without me having to scan through like a 4-page list of colors. And three, it lets me seamlessly go to different pages rather than just kind of like swiping across to a different page and then having to zoom in again. So anyway, it has worked really well. This is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, and it's kind of coming along. Another big piece that I made a lot of progress on is Lady Hera by Mirabilia. So let me show you that. So here's what Lady Hera is going to look like when it's done. And this is what she looked like last time. This is what she looks like now. So I have spent a lot of time working on the peacock's tail again. And I love stitching it, and I finally figured out how to stitch it. For the first time, I'm having to highlight a Mirabilia pattern. Because I think there are 7 colors of DMC, 2 colors of Cranic, and 3 colors of beads in this tail. It is masterful. And I find that if I just stitch the dark green first, I can do the other colors, and it's all kind of an eyelet. So the only thing I haven't done up here is put the beads in. So that will be the next, well, maybe one of the next steps. And I also want to fill in some of the flowers because these are not done yet. So anyway, this is Lady Hera, hopefully finishing soon. I also did some work, but not a ton, on Roses of Provence by Mirabilia. And this is being stitched on a, I think it's a 32 count, but I'm really not sure. 32 or 28 count opalescent pale pink linen. And I did decide to do the skin 2/1 tent stitch. It has blends in it, so I can't really do a 1/1. I'm liking the look of it. I mean, up close, I kind of worried that my stitches aren't as smooth and neat as I wanted them to be, but then I realized that maybe I'm just being too picky, and it's fine. I don't know if any of you suffer from migraines, but I have had problems with migraines in the past, like ever since the day before Thanksgiving. So, and when I have a migraine, well, I really can't stitch, but even like the days around it, even with good lighting and glasses, like I cannot stitch something that is this small. So my HAED is a 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch. You know, I can't work on either of those projects, so they have not gotten a lot of love. But since the last video, I've done a little bit. The next Mirabilia is Andromeda, and Drama Andromeda, because I've been so indecisive about this, you guys. I picked a piece of fabric originally like this summer, and then I decided that I didn't like it, and I ended up dyeing a piece of fabric that I didn't think about was like 25 count, and it like turned out okay, but I bought silks for it and everything, and I'm kind of changing the colors a little bit, and this is what I've done so far, and I'm just, I don't know if I really like it or not. I'm really, really, really indecisive. So this is probably going into timeout while I think about it. And the straw that broke the camel's back on this is this pattern uses some like aquas in the waves. And I love it. That's great. And I picked out some Soie Cristal to replace the DMC. And it's beautiful. I mean, unfortunately, I'm having to film this in artificial light because it's at night. So these, well, that looks a little bit better. These are really, really like clear kind of aqua and teal. But I don't think that they look great against the fabric. So this is kind of what I have to think about. So over the next, couple of months or weeks or whatever, I'll just think about this and, do I want to restart it? I don't want to stitch a lot and then have to restart it anyway. So anyway, that's that. For some reason, I haven't done a lot of work on my Monkshood, although I really like it. Although I do really like it. So let me show you just where this is at. And I've decided, I actually might work on it tonight since it is the 13th. I've decided that on the 13th of every month, I'm going to work on this project. Or more if I wanted to, but at least give it one day a month because I really like it. And maybe with the goal of having it finished before Halloween. It's not necessarily like a Halloween piece, but to me it kind of reads a little, it skews a little Halloween. Oh, and there's another Mirabilia too. So I don't remember if I showed this to you guys. I really don't. But this is the Thanksgiving Harvest Fairy. And this is how far I've gotten on it. I really like it. I may end up putting it away until next sort of fall, or when I get in the mood to start fall stitching, but I'm glad that I made a decent start on it, and we'll see what happens with that. I may or may not have ordered a couple of more of these kits because 123 Stitch got them back in stock, and I was really happy about that. Okay, so I also got Palate Cleanser alert. I decided that I maybe needed a little bit of a palette cleanser, and if any of you have watched Off the Grid Needle Arts with Caroline, she in the past has done some counted canvas work pieces that are really pretty, and I thought I want to try that. And it's funny because it became like this, like I really want to try it. So I ended up going to Nancy's Needle. She's a great designer, and ordering this Floral Star. And I actually ordered the kit. So I ordered the canvas, the stretcher bars, the little Japanese tacks, and all of the different threads. So it uses DMC Pearl Cotton as well as, oh, I guess it's stuck in the tacks, as well as Karen watercolors, which I've never worked with, and this purple shiny Rainbow Gallery. And funny story that I was getting ready to do an onerous task, and where I would be waiting in my car for like 2 hours, and I was in my car getting ready to leave. My mom had picked this up from the PO box, and she pulled into the garage. I was outside in my car, and I called her and I said, "Mom, did the package come? I really, really want it." So she brought it out to me so that I could, as I was waiting in the car, I actually opened up this box and I started it. Like, I had never done a piece like this, but I put together the stretcher bars. I put the canvas on. I luckily, Nancy sent some needles, and I threaded a needle, and I just got started. And so I'm in my car watching a little bit of Floss Tube and listening to a book, kind of on and off, depending on what I want, in a grocery store parking lot. Yay. But I had stitching. So let me show you what I've done so far. So this, I'm almost done with a central star. I just have the points. So there's 2 pink sections and then a purple section, and then I'm done with a central star. And this is really, really fun. I'm liking it. It definitely won't replace cross stitch, but it's just something to kind of add to the needlework bug, and it cleanses the palette a little bit. So this is kind of a new thing. But anyway, so that's nice. Also on Black Friday, I did a little bit of shopping. One of my orders from not 123 Stitch, but another one still hasn't come yet, but it's okay. I can be patient. It's not like I don't have a lot of stitching stuff already, but I did pick up some things from 123 Stitch because they had a sale. It's probably still going on right now. Well, I picked up this pattern, which is very similar to Floral Star, called Enchanted Garden. So this is just the pattern for another canvas work piece. I had this in my wish list for quite a few months, Enya by Sampler Cove, and it calls for 36 count magnolia linen, and I plan on ordering that fabric. I've never worked on 36 count, but this will be the first time I'm doing it. And it uses Gloriana thread, which is my favorite kind of thread, and only 2 skeins. So instead of it being like, you know, $300 or whatever, they had the 2 skeins in stock, and there we go. So this will be a 2020 start. I don't have a fabric yet. I also ended up getting French Trifles by Carolina House, and a couple of Plum Street. I really like this one, the Harvest Keeper. Whoops. And also Good by Fall. I want to do some seasonal stitching this year, so here it is. Okay, so that's that. And the name of the game for 2021 is Stitch from Stash. I've definitely had 2 hobbies going, stitching and adding to my stash. And so I really want to do Stitch from Stash for 2020. And I also need to organize because I have been keeping a lot of my stitching things either in a drawer or in this bag, and it really doesn't work. It isn't working. And as much as I love project bags and think they're wonderful and would love to buy all of them or make all of them or whatever, I just don't have the time. And so I ended up from Amazon ordering 24, I think there are 24 of these kind of clear zipper pouches, because I have a lot of patterns where I have either the fabric or some specialty floss or some beads or, you know, something, and they're separated, and that kind of drives me crazy. And it's just too big for like a Ziploc bag, and do I want to use Ziploc bags? I don't know. So I just ended up ordering a bunch of these They were like $15.99 for 24, and I figured, you know, they're reusable, they'll last. You know, they're just the A4 size, so it's big enough for me to fold up a piece of fabric and put a pattern in, and you know, whatever else I want. It won't fit a Q-snap, but that's fine. So organization is the name of the game. Oh, I forgot to show you. I did a little bit of holiday stitching. I stitched a like Hanukkah decoration because in my house we celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah, and I lost it for some reason. Hopefully by the next video I will have found it, because that drives me crazy. I stitched it in a toile, which by the way is wonderful. Everybody has been talking about how much they love a toile, and it's great. But here's the one I did find. So this is more kind of Christmassy, and this is a thistle, and it's based off of a pattern from the 2019 Just Cross Stitch Ornaments, but there were a lot more things around it, and actually they wanted it stitched on white fabric, and this was just supposed to show through, and it was supposed to be stitched like the negative space, and I decided to dye fabric instead. So this is a 32 count linen I dyed myself, and I just used B5200 to stitch the central motif. How I'm going to finish it, when I'm going to finish it, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to show you my little bit of holiday stitching, and I would love, love, love to stitch more holiday things. I'm just not sure if I'm going to get to it this year. Sad. Hold on. So last time I also told you about, I had a project that I had put in timeout, and it's a like autumn leaves Bisque from a Just Cross Stitch fall edition. I think it was this year. So I did, it's being stitched on a 32 count white chocolate wood chelt linen, which I don't really like, but it's okay. I ended up taking it out, and there you go. Half of it is done. I backstitched it. There is a little button that goes in the center, and I even made a really good start on the second side. So there it is. So I have momentum going on it. I'm going to finish it in 2019. I'm determined. So there we go. Oh gosh, as far as plans go, I have a few patterns, and I'm not necessarily going to go through all of these. I don't know. I'll go through a few. Maybe I'll show you the highlights. I think one of my January 1st starts is going to be the Drawn Thread Welcome Winter. I already have the silks, and I already have actually 4 pieces of this flax linen, because I have the second one too. I don't have the threads, but I have Welcome Spring. So I've got these two. I've got all of that. I love this. I don't know if this will be a 2020 start, but I do have the Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches. This is definitely a start. I have Plum Street Samplers, the Queen Sampler. And this is stitched on 40 count linen with silk. No. Yes. Yes. They call for NPI, and then they give a DMC equivalent, but it's meant to be stitched 1/2 140 count, and so I may try it. I've wanted to try 36 and I've wanted to try 40, so this may be the opportunity. As much as I love this, I don't know if I'll get around to stitching this in 2020, but I love Ink Circle's Jungles of Sumatra. And the Valentine Quaker is another pattern that I would love to start in 2020. This will probably be a leading up to Halloween start. The Cure Baticure. Halloween and cross stitch. Anyway, I really love that. I saw this stitched on blue linen and it looked amazing. So the Raven by La Di Da. And oh yes, I've got, okay, I'll have to get up and show you. But I do have the Fox View by Plum Street. And as far as, I mean, I have wanted to start a Bewitching Pixie for a long time. So there's one. Queen Bee. That is going to be a 2020 start. This is one I really like. This is the Petal Fairy. And this may be a 2020 start. Miss Christmas Eve. I had thought about doing this one as 4 altogether. So maybe not this year, but another year. And I've got some mermaids too. Some of the older ones that I've had for a long time. When they were still in print. Mermaid of the Pearls. Persephone I love. I want to start this one. And Red. And the August Peridot Fairy. So I do have a bunch of things like that to start. I want to start a Joan Elliott. That is one of my 2020 goals, is to stitch a Joan Elliott. And I actually ordered this on eBay from the UK. And it has, I can't show you the patterns, but I can show you, I mean, I realized that even though this was expensive, that if I ordered all of these patterns like separately, it would be 10 times more, maybe not quite 10 times, but it would be like 5 times more than what I paid for this. It would be, you know, so I saved a lot of money, right? Okay, where is it? Where is it? Ah, found it. I really like the Autumn Fairy. This is, so this is the one that I'm thinking about doing. Maybe next autumn. And then I will definitely be going through this bag, because a lot of these things you guys have seen in recent videos, but I have some really pretty sparkly opalescent white linen. I've got some, and I need to really organize this. I've got some beautiful, I think Zephyr. Here's more of my welcome signs, and I've got, oh, here's the white linen I was looking for. It was right on top. What is this? Oh yes. I even have a primitive hair kit. Well, not really a full kit. I just have the pattern with the called for fabric. So I have the old winter. This I really want to start. Maybe really soon. I have Hello Winter. And I'm thinking about doing, I've got some, picture this plus, oh, this is 36 count. I did not realize that. 36 count pewter. And so I'm thinking about doing the Plum Street Hello Season series on the Picture This Plus pewter. We'll see. And I've got some Weeks Dye Works. I think that some Weeks Dye Works that go with that. I am definitely starting Firefly Fairies, and I've got some beautiful kind of cloud fabric for it. And I've got another neutral to use for a possible full coverage piece. But I've got a lot of stuff in here. Like I have I have this mermaid. I think this is Undine, and I've got, yeah, some Sea Spray Witch Hilt, which I may use for something else, but I already have the bead pack, and I've got the Karen water lilies for it. So I have plenty to start. Oh my goodness. I also have all of the materials for the Raven Queen. And I have everything for Renaissance Fairy except the fabric. I ordered under the sea fabric. I forget which one I ordered, and I knew it would take a little while. It's been, I think I ordered it 2 months ago, and so hopefully it'll be here soon, because this is, again, definitely a start coming up here. And I have Cranic beads, I've got Karen water lilies, and I've got some NPIs. This NPI? No, Soie d'Alger. I've got some Soie d'Alger to do it. And I've got some other things that, like, I don't know what I would do with this, but I do have like some kind of, you know, Mediterranean sea type feeling. It's called Morning Dew, 28 count linen. So my big project for the next, over the next couple of weeks, aside from trying to finish a few things, is to organize myself, put things in bags, figure out what I have, and try to make a clearer plan for 2020. And I find that focusing on that has been really helpful. So anyway, happy holidays to everybody. Happy Friday the 13th, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Thanks. Bye.